So before you get into your machine, I want you to take a picture of Sid. Make sure you got your PPE on, safety vest, formal clothing, steel toes. Also, make sure your phones are charged and ready to go. Sid is going to get into the machine and show you the engagement of the auxiliary hydraulics. So with one, you engage your auxiliary. Start it up there, Sid. Start grooving, rotation, put the arm down, press the trigger on the joystick. That turns on your groove. Left and right. Turn off your auxiliary, turn off the machine. So we're going to go through some notes, and then we're going to actually watch Sid go through the motions of brooming and traveling. So if the broom is not rotating, any attempt to change the angle on the broom will cause momentary loss of broom rotation. Okay, the broom should be used with the lift arm in the float position. To engage float, push the joystick forward until it locks into the detent position. So Sid is going to show you how to put it in float. The joystick forward until it locks into position. Right? So now we're going to take the have Sid put it afloat and actually sleep.
Make sure to put the legs back inside the cab.
Going?
Yep.
So down pressure and broom pattern is set and adjusted by tilting and curling the attachment towards and away from the machine. For debris removal, a broom pattern of 4 to 6 inches is recommended. Excessive down pressure can cause accelerated bristle wear or damage to the attachment. So don't put down too much pressure on it. Be especially observant of the operating area and terrain. Watch for holes, rocks, and other hidden hazards. Always inspect the area prior to using the angled broom. Don't broom into traffic, parked vehicles, fences, private property. Slow down, come to a complete stop, shutting off the broom for pedestrian bypassers. We don't want to be spraying anything on the pedestrians, fellas. Watch the broom attachment at the end of the shift. Pay particular attention to the inside of the cowling to prevent buildup of dirt and debris.
Put your flashers on just slow.
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
There's a bit of snow here, we can see if we can get it. So fellas, we're going to continue on here. Never travel with the angled broom attachment fully curled back towards the machine. Carry the angled broom slightly curled back with the lift arm raised high enough to clear any obstruction on the road. So don't be traveling with it too high or dragging on the ground, fellas. Just high enough that you can actually travel, that if you hit a bump, it's not going to hit the ground. Now, there's an extremely important note if you're going through the posts. Do not lift it too high and pull the wiring out of the socket. So just lift it just high enough where you clear any obstruction that you may need to clear. Always travel with the broom angle straight, not engaged to either direction.
Also, when you're traveling, make sure to shut the broom off.
For sure. Points to remember: use proper downforce. Important thing to keep in mind, fellas, when operating a skid steer sweeper attachment, you only want to flick the ground with the bristles. Pressing down any harder than that does not harm, does more harm than good. Proper downforce not only protects the ground you're on, but it also is going to protect your bristles. While the blisters are replaceable, they're not cheap. With proper downforce, operators have a lot of control over how long the bristles last. Know your sweeping paths. Another part of the protecting the ground you're on is knowing where you're sweeping. Paths are and aren't depending on the type of bristle, poly or not. Power sweepers can cause damage to various ground types. For example, sweeping off the path can damage lawns. So try not to get on lawns, fellas, with this, and stay on the walk as best as you can. With broom attachments for tool casts, you're dealing with a lot of rotating force and heavy bristle. When a broom is operating, there are multiple functions that are happening at one time. So it's important to be conscientious operator. Regularly check for general wear and follow the maintenance protocols for your attachment. Let the attachment warm up. Power sweeper attachments or anything with hydraulic functioning needs some time to warm up, especially during winter weather. Allowing the oil to cycle through before getting to work is going to extend the machine life. So we're okay with that part of it, fellas, because we're parked inside. We got heated machines, so heated shops, so we should be good with that. Mind the motor. Depending on the design of your sweeper attachment, you might need to be aware of the motor's position during operation. We realized operators were hitting or knocking their motor when they were sweeping up against buildings or in tight air spaces. And this is particularly important when you're going through those posts that we talked about, or if you're close to anything that a fence, etc. The motor does stick out on the one side, and we don't want to hit that motor and damage it. Use proper downforce. That's right, it's important. I listed it twice here. Using proper downforce is the number one way to protect power sweeper attachments and keep your bristles operating at peak efficiency. Once bristles become bent, they're not going to work as well as you want them to. Protecting your bristles is also part of properly storing a sweeper attachment. You want to be sure to store your broom so that there's no pressure on the bristles. It will prevent deforming. That comes with broom stand for protecting bristles during storage. And that's what we showed you earlier, fellas, those stands. When you come back, you put your stands back on the machine and you park your machine so it's ready for the next day. We're going to be out there sweeping snow where you already see snow, and if there's even sand on the sidewalk, let's get it cleaned up. That's part of the protocol why the city sends us out in the spring to do both. If there's neither snow nor sand, do not waste any bristles. Just drive and be careful, and drop your broom only where it's needed. Okay, have a good round.